Good evening. My name is Hannah Johnston, and today I'll be presenting my action research project titled Community-Based Work Experience Programs in Special Education. This research explores how structured supervised community work experiences impact the work readiness of high school seniors with moderate disabilities. Through this study, I sought to understand not just what experiences matter, but also how we as educators can be better and better prepare our students for independent adult lives. So my main research question that I focused on is how does a 3-week intensive community-based work experience program consisting of 8 hours per week of supervised placements impact students' work readiness skills as measured by a 15% improvement in employer-rated evaluations. I also explored 3 sub-questions that coincide with the essential research question. What strategies and activities support job training within the classroom? What community-based tasks allow students to work most efficiently and independently? And what role does digital literacy play in preparing students for career success? I noticed that students with moderate disabilities often struggle with the transition from school to work. In traditional classroom environments, while incredibly supportive academically, often lack real-world training that is necessary to help students build confidence, workplace social skills, and self-determination. Without real-world opportunities for students, and with those hands-on learning and scaffolded support, students may struggle to integrate successfully into their communities post-graduation. My rationale from the study stems upon my work with life-skills special education settings. I observed firsthand how authentic work experiences can profoundly impact students' confidence and independence. And students begin expressing their career goals, and they develop stronger communication skills, and they show pride in their ability to contribute meaningfully to their community, which is the goal of so many school districts, is to allow our students the opportunity for growth to become the best types of community members and citizens that they can be. I wanted to formally explore how we can strengthen these outcomes through structured work experience programs and intentional classroom supports. Through my review of the literature review, I learned that current research strongly supports the importance of community-based work study programs. For example, community experiences can improve self-confidence, independence, and employability overall for students with moderate disabilities. And having a mentor during job training leads to higher student satisfaction and greater workplace success. Having a supplemental social skills instruction, especially explicit lessons on communication and self-advocacy, are crucial for work readiness. And digital literacy is a component that is increasingly critical, and students must learn basic technology skills such as emailing, navigating job apps, and digital organization tools. Overall, the literature highlights that combining hands-on experience, targeted classroom support, and technology training is the most effective path towards successful post-graduation employment. The study that I did involves 14 students between the ages of 18 and 21. And they're all enrolled in an ACE program called Academic and Career Exploration. And this is located at a public high school in Long Island, New York. The students that had moderate disabilities, which included autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, and intellectual disabilities. And each student was placed in a local community business, such as a restaurant, a firehouse, a grocery store, or office based on their interests and their strengths. My methodology involves students participating in a 3-week of structured supervised community work, and it averaged about 8 hours per week. My data was collected through my daily evaluation sheets, which were completed by both my job trainers, who were evaluating students based on a 1 to 3 rating, and by my students evaluating their own work with a check, a minus, or an X. I also sent out Google Form surveys to my colleagues who also teach in life skills settings to gain insight on what they're doing to supplement in the classroom, as well as I interviewed students about their job training experience. I also made direct observations of student engagement, task completions, and their use of technology. My results were overwhelmingly positive. I noticed that students demonstrated clear growth in their self-confidence, communication skills, and their independence. Students preferred that hands-on job training, such as working in restaurants and shops, over that traditional office setting where maybe they're shredding. My showings to the right show my graphs that include a consistent growth in student evaluation sheets over the 3-week time period, as well as having a mentor allowed them to have immediate feedback, and it played a major role in building student confidence and adjusting skills in real time. However, one major issue that I did notice is that the technology used during community work placements is very minimal, And my finding highlighted an urgent need to incorporate more digital literacy instruction in both classroom and work study environments. Some surprising and unexpected findings include how nervous students felt initially when they were learning new job skills. However, me as their teacher was incredibly proud of them when they showed resilience and growth and practicing their immediate feedback. I also learned that even in our 21st century tech-driven society, many of the real-world tasks available to students with moderate disabilities do not yet fully leverage technology, which prevents a major opportunity for student growth. So it's a gap that I did notice that I feel like should be implemented in the future. Therefore, when talking about future educational pedagogy implementations, I noticed that there needs to be an explicit digital literacy training where digital skills like emailing, navigating schedules, using basic workplace apps, and maybe even using an online job application system must become standard components of life skills and job training curricula. In the 21st century, where we have technology, it's no longer optional and it's become a basic life skill. In addition to life skills, we also want to incorporate soft skills in our instruction, which includes social interaction, self-advocacy, and problem solving, as well as appropriate workplace behavior. These need to be incorporated into the classroom and they need to be explicitly taught and reinforced throughout the day. They shouldn't be assumed that students in our life skills class come knowing these skills, and they need to be able to practice them both in school, in their social life, and in the workplace. There also needs to be an expanded authentic community partnership with our life skills program and our community, where schools should be able to build more flexible and intentional partnerships with a variety of businesses in the community. These placements should be aligned with student interests, and businesses should be supported as well in terms of how to help students with moderate disabilities and how to mentor them. A big part of my teaching philosophy is the universal design for learning, and I feel that plays a large role in vocational training, where there's no one unique there's a unique path for everybody in learning. For vocational tasks must be differentiated and scaffolded, which allows students multiple pathways to succeed based on their strengths and their needs. I also feel that we need to create a continuous feedback loop where students need immediate additional feedback, not only in their academics, but in their job tasks. This will allow them to apply what they're doing and be able to correct immediately, as opposed to having it in their head and applying next time that they're in the workforce. By applying these practices, we can ensure that all students, regardless of their ability, are able to be equipped for independence, confidence, and be meaningful contributors to their communities. This action research shifted my thinking about vocational education, where I now view community-based learning and scaffolding independence as essential parts of special education, and they're not just supplemental. I also realized that students are more capable than we sometimes can expect them. I always tell my students that they could do hard things, and the study really showed me that they can. However, it also showed me that my role as an educator, I need to be able to build the right structures to support and challenge them in the way that they need to be challenged so that they can complete the hard things. In closing, community-based work experience programs empower students with moderate disabilities to step confidently into their futures. And as educators, it's our responsibility to create environments that foster real-world learning, digital competence, and strong self-determination. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I would now be happy to take any questions, and you can leave them in the comment section of this YouTube video.